Okay, hey everyone. So for my final project, I'm going to talk about a group of called critical resistance or CR, and they're an organization that's been around since the late 90s. I guess it's like 1997. I guess if I remember, and they're trying to completely change the way we think about safety, punishment, or more, or justice in the United States. And basically they want to get rid of prisons and its policy altogether, not just making them better, but like fully replace them with something else. And yeah, that might sound kind of extreme at first, but once you hear what they're about, like it actually makes a lot of sense. Critical resistance sees the cultural state. That means prison policing, like they all like as a system, like they don't really like make us safe. Instead, like it controls people, like especially for those poor folks, um, black and brown communities, and people who are already struggling. Like that totally lines up like with what we've learned in this semester or this summer. Like in the Ferguson, like DOJ like report the cash bail readings. Like we saw how the people are punished just for being poor, the homeless, or in the wrong neighborhood. And they also talk about like something called the prison industrial complex, which is the idea that the prison system exists to make the money and maintain their power, not like for them, like not actually to solve the problems. Like it's like what we read in the Debt of Care, like where bail companies and the court system uh trap those like families in debt. So CR says that kind of stuff like isn't broken, like it is working exactly how it was built to work, and not just for us. So what's cool is that critical resistance like doesn't just say, "Hey, this is all bad," and they're actually building alternatives, and they work with local groups to create community based ways to deal with harm and conflict, without calling the cops or locking people up. They do talk a lot about like transformative justice, which means they try to understand like why something happened and how to fix the harm instead of just punishing people. And while some groups focus on reforms like adding body cameras or giving police more training, CR calls that like reformist reform. They said it just give the system more tools to control people. Like instead, they push for abolitionist reforms like shutting down jails, getting police out of school, and so on. And that part feels kind of new compared to what we have studied, and a lot of our course like talk about like the fixing the system, but the CR is more like, okay, let's imagine something completely different. So honestly, I really respect what they're doing. I think it takes a lot of guts to say like we don't need better cops, like, or we need a new way of thinking about safety. That's a huge shift. But like after everything we learned like for this summer, especially the stories about cash bail, yeah, and such that stuff, and I get it why like they think we need to start over. Also, I like that they center the people who are most affected, because a lot of the folks in this movement are formerly incarcerated, or they have had family members go through the system. They're not just speaking about the problem, they're giving it, they're living it, and they're trying to solve it from the ground up. So if you're asking me like if I would support them, like yes, I would. I think they're punishing us like to imagine a world like where safety comes from care and community rather than not like punishment. And I think that's worth paying attention to. So yeah, that's a CR, and they're just not like fighting against something. They are trying to build something new, a new system. And after uh this course, and I honestly feels like the kind of energy like we need right now. Thank you.